Why Media Group? The fastest growing media group in North America.
Very, very important statement. That's a very important statement by Pierre Poilievre. He's not conceding any sort of defeat. Pierre Poilievre is saying the Liberals made backroom deals. That's how they got the majority. They have betrayed the people. Pierre Poilievre is also saying he will fight the next election. So here is Pierre Poilievre. He has announced that he is going to fight the next elections as well as the party leader. It's an important statement by Pierre Poilievre. What's your take on this?
Well, absolutely. He's not wrong on his points that he's saying. There is truth to the matter that if there wasn't 5 MPs that crossed the floor, that he wouldn't have the majority that he needed, that he got tonight, right? So that's definitely true. And affordability is a massive thing, and so that's what we're all going to have eyes on. What this government's going to do. It looks like where Mark Carney stands when you look at the future of, how he went from a private citizen to the Prime Minister of Canada. It's really been the hope and the aspirations that Canadians have to see how he's going to deliver. I mean, he's not proven, right? He doesn't have a track record as an MP or as, a minister who had a portfolio. He has no track record even as a mayor. So we're really learning firsthand what his track record's going to be with what he ends up doing here in Canada now that he has a majority government.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say we're going to have some sort of a late night counting, of course, in the Quebec riding. But I'm going to put you on spot. It's a difficult choice, Bloc or Liberal. If you had to pick one, I know it could be neck to neck right till the end. But if you had to pick one, Ramonaji, which one would you pick?
It's really showing that the Liberals are, it's Mark Carney has been a change in their fortunes, because when you look at, and I say Liberal, and when you look at that is because if you look at the 2021 numbers, the Bloc had 24,270 votes, essentially having, that they won with that number. And then after that was the Liberals at just 17,475 votes. And that was Liberals in 2021 under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And then you fast forward to 2025, and the Liberal candidate, outseated the Bloc with just 1 vote. But of course, because they had to recount, it went up all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada. And just, last month, in February, the Supreme Court annulled the count because it was off by 1. It was too close. And so we saw a rematch tonight. This is a riding that had 18,000 people vote early in the advanced polls. And it looks like, by all measures, with 73% of the polls that have already been counting, that the Liberals are leading with 49% of the vote, and Bloc is coming second with 46% of the vote. So that means a year in, Mark Carney was able to get a few more percentage points in this Quebec riding. I don't think it was an accident that they had the policy convention in Montreal, and this riding is in that area. So it probably showed some momentum there.
Yes. And before I let you go, I think I'd like to just once again update our viewers. ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਮੈਜੋਰਟੀ ਟੈਰੀਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਆ ਗਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। 2 ਸੀਟਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਤ ਲਈਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਰੋਜ਼ਡੇਲ ਡੈਨੀਅਲ ਮਾਰਟਿਨ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਗਏ ਨੇ, ਔਰ ਡੋਲੀ ਬੇਗਮ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਕਾਰਬਰੋ ਸਾਊਥ ਵੈਸਟ ਤੋਂ ਜਿੱਤ ਗਏ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ 2 ਸੀਟਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਡਾਇਨਾਮਿਕਸ ਟੋਟਲੀ ਚੇਂਜ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਆ। 171 ਸੀਗਾ, ਸੋ 172, ਫਿਰ 173, ਔਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤੀਸਰੀ ਸੀਟ ਆ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿਊਬੈਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹ ਕਾਫੀ ਦੇਰ ਤੱਕ ਨੈਕ ਟੂ ਨੈਕ, ਲੇਕਿਨ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਬਟ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ 1 ਸੀਟ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰਤ ਸੀਗੀ ਮੈਜੋਰਟੀ ਦੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 2 ਸੀਟਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਿੱਤ ਲੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਲਿਬਰਲਸ ਹੈਵ ਸਿਕਿਉਰਡ ਅ ਮੈਜੋਰਟੀ ਵਿਦ ਥੀਸ 2 GTA wins. It's still a razor thin majority. It's not a very comfortable majority, but still majority is majority. ਔਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ liberals must be quite pleased with their performance. There's lots to think as far as the Conservative Party is concerned. ਕਾਫੀ ਕੁਛ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਉਹ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ. And before we wrap it up, Ramona ji, your final comments. Please go ahead.
Yeah, even though we were, looking ahead of this entire by-election that perhaps these safe Liberal seats will also remain safe, but there's nothing like an election night to be able to see these numbers come in and what it means for this government under Mark Carney. Never before in Canadian history has a government gone from a minority government to a majority in by-elections. So this is a very first, but it seems like Mark Carney's had a lot of firsts under his time as becoming a Canadian politician and as a top job as Prime Minister.
Before we call it a day, I think we should be just listening to the speeches as well. So, if not the whole speech, I think we'll go to University Rosedale. Daniel Martin, I think let's listen what she has to say. So let's listen the speeches. But before we go to the speeches, Monaji, these are relatively new candidates at the federal level. Of course, Dolly Begum was here at the provincial level, but two new female faces. Of course, the third one is also female from Quebec, but two new female faces. Do you think any of them could get a cabinet position before I?
Will be interesting. Maybe the Quebec one, yeah. Because the way you get cabinet position is that if you are able to win an unlikely seat, and for them to have a Liberal seat being taken out of an incumbent, because the Bloc Québécois was an incumbent. She was there from 2021 to 2025 and was seated in that, just off by 1 point. And then now in this election this year, it looks like the Liberals going to take it. So if Tatiana Auguste wins as the MP, and it looks like she will as the Liberal MP, then she would probably definitely have hopefully a cabinet position as it would be expected. But then here's the other thing, like when it comes to Scarborough Southwest, Dolly Begum was an NDP MPP, right? So here again, you have crossing sort of a politics line, right? When you're a NDP MPP, and now you are a Liberal MP. So it seems like this Prime Minister's attracting all kinds of candidates.
So there you go. Both the newly minted MPs, both seem to be quite excited. Join the Liberal caucus in Ottawa. Maybe one of them gets a cabinet berth, who knows? But then, they seem to be quite excited. Ramonaji, I think we got to call it a night, and tomorrow morning we will be back once again. But before we do that, your final comments.
Yes, thank you for spending this time with us this evening to go over what is a historic by-election where a Canadian government that was in minority went into majority. It's one of the first that'll go down in the history books. So thank you for spending this time with us tonight.
At this point, we'd like to thank our viewers once again. Thank you so much. Ymedia Group ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਗਾਤਾਰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਔਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਮੀਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਇਸੇ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਹੀ Ymedia ਦੇ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜੇ ਰਹੋਗੇ। ਮੈਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਵਾਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ US ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਤਾਂ ਚੈਨਲ Y USA ਸਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ LA ਤੱਕ, ਸ਼ਿਕਾਗੋ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਪੈਨਸਿਲਵੇਨੀਆ, ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਨੇ 'ਚ ਬੈਠੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ, ਚੈਨਲ Y US ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਸਲਿੰਗ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਪਾਰਟ ਆਫ ਟਿਸ਼ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ। ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ Rogers 857, Bell 828, Telus 2418, Ignite 707 ਔਰ ਰੇਡੀਓ Y। ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ GTH ਡਰਾਈਵ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ, ਰੇਡੀਓ Y FM 105.9 ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਟਿਊਨ ਇਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਰੱਖੋ। ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈ, ਸਕਰੀਨ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਨੰਬਰ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ 416475 5000 416 475 5000। Thank you to all of you. Thank you to the entire Ymedia team. Special thanks to you, Ramona ji. Thanks for leading from the front on today's coverage. We will carry on our discussion on Ymedia foreign policy, Ymedia political sensex, and of course, Ymedia food for thought. Thank you. Stay tuned with Ymedia.
Ymedia Group, the fastest growing media group in North America.